Hello, now then, welcome back. This is episode 13, unlucky for some, but maybe not this one, of the Folktails playthrough on the Experimental 1.0 branch on the pressure map. Today, we're going to fix a couple of bits and pieces that are outstanding for Badwater, and we're going to be running in some power, and also some backup power, using this giant wind farm that we started is a loose word, laid down last time. We're also going to need to connect this area to something, which that something is this over here. So the problem we have is that while this used to be the main primary power generation area, it is not that anymore due to, messing around with the pressure, as the map suggests. However, let's get the beavers running around. First things first, we need to put a path in here, because it's kind of useless if they can't use it. That's that fixed. Come the next drought, and only in a drought, we're going to swap this bad boy out for the rig, because we have no Badwater, which means we have some dynamite, I think, but not a great deal. And we're not using it, so it's not a problem, at least yet. And there is no more risk, as we lost a beaver stuck in here last time, so we can get that redone, and they should be able to build pretty much all of that. Now, if we were to connect this in some other weird and wonderful way, we're going to need to get them down and into this area for connecting this up, so we may as well lay that in now. I don't think there's a nice way we can connect those together at all. No, there isn't. Which is, I guess, fine. But this will take them a million years to build, so I think it's too much of an issue for us. The one thing I did want to do is redo this, as it's not quite right, which is probably going to be a waste of wood, but meh. I think we're okay at this point. We're not sort of in a rush. So if we just ditch all of that. And it should, in theory, allow us to build up this area a little bit nicer than we had before. Now, bear with me on this, I am not great at seeing this out in my head. However, I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad. To spiral this up, snake it a little bit easier, a bit more efficient. At least that's the hope. Hopefully it looks something about like that. If anything, it looks a bit nicer. So I will take that as a win. How far out are we? Oh, that is the top. Okay, so to get that, we kind of stuck with where we had to put that, so it kind of is what it is. So with that one, then we'll just do that, and that should connect us in quite nicely to here. And if we just scoot down, we have a path, which is nice. Cool. So they will sort that out at their leisure. Don't know exactly when, but they'll get to that at some point. But again, no rush, because this needs to evaporate first. Otherwise, they're going to not be able to use the building once it's down there anyway, so that'll be okay. Plus, I think this thing has 1 million tons of storage in it. I think it's 1,200, so we probably don't need to worry about tanks. We just need to worry about hauling it somewhere else. Okay, so looks like that's coming along nicely. Just chuck that in for now. There are some other bits and pieces we need to move around, sort of power-wise anyway, because we've got a lot of industry moved over this side instead of over here. I mean, to be fair, we could just move... I think the observatory is the only thing that's over here. But thinking about it, do we need to connect the power lines at all? What are we missing from over there to over here? So there's the centrifuge and... I think the paper... Oh no, we have a paper mill, so it's just a centrifuge. Okay, so... Can that fit absolutely anywhere? It can. I'm going to put this in here and just run the path across and around. Probably not the most efficient, but... keeps it out of the way, I suppose. And there's enough room there for some tanks if we want to put them in. Okay, yeah, we'll do it that way. We will do it that way. And we do need planks, though, because they are very much short supply. They're probably all going in here, which looks to be the case. Although they do have all the gears. We will need the old paper mill going though, so let's just turn that back on. Should keep this guy busy, and the power is looking fine. Not quite double, but it's good enough. Cool, cattails are in there. We should have some storage for those somewhere. Yes, we do. Kind of full, but we have them. That's good to see. That's working fine. Okay. So one thing we do probably need to look at, looking at our logs, they could be better. Could be significantly better. Okay, bad tide approaching. I think this is the first bad tide. Now... I'm going to keep an eye on this because this is set to, with the power of this sluice, 0.9, and I believe the internet tells me that if it's above 0.8, it should not stop. So with these two sluices in here controlling all of this noise, this should never be below that. In fact, what I will do, just for belt and braces, put this in so I can at least monitor how deep it actually is. As not having a worker in here, keeping this full of water, saves us a job. Okay, they're going to build that obviously tomorrow. Asked too much of them, obviously. They have started on this, which is good. Logs are still a problem, so I think we can pause this guy. And I think we can pause these guys. That should help planks bounce back just a tiny bit. I hope. We do have 5 board beavers though, so why not with this connected in, just say in you come to there. That's probably going to hit that a bit more, but still be fine. 1.6 days before that hits and see if the theory works. But down here, other than getting the metal that's down in this area, I think we were going to use this area for something else. It could have been the other playthrough. I forget. It's been a long hot minute since I've played this one, but I would like this wood. Point number 1. And same for the other side. Let's just run that in there like so. We've got 2 spare beavers, it's fine. So let's just mark all of this to get out of the way. We are going to plant trees down here, basically, is the idea. Just because it should be, at least for the most part, forever evergreen. As long as there's stuff in here. We will need to dam some of this up just to keep it somewhat green, which is probably going to be probably best placed on this crossroads, to be fair. If that's like so. I'm going to say that should allow us to keep the area green-ish. Keep an eye on that. Right, so does this work? It looks like a resounding yes. So as long as this never runs out, we should be good. Underneath here, this should be slammed shut, which it is. And this should be wide open, which it is. We are going to get some bad water coming out. Where does it actually come out? Does it come out down here? It will come up and out through there, which... Yes, so it will cause issues here. So putting the dams across here is a good idea. I foresaw it in a vision that this was the right place. Okay, I don't believe there's any risk of this one, which runs through here, and that goes off up and out there, which will go up and out the map, which we don't need to worry too much about. There is no temptation with which now to go into the drink, as this path is now separated. They should be using that line anyway, which looks like they are. Guy can't reach everything, which was badly positioned by me. That's my bad. That should fix that. This guy's not yet in because the bridge needs to be constructed, but we're down on planks. We're out of power. But luckily not totally out of power. Not yet, anyway. So we do need to connect this down into there, and I believe that was going to be done this way. Was it this way, or was it down here? I think it was down this way, so we haven't laid that in yet, so let's do so now. Get that pushed this way. And that should be all buildable from where they are, so that's good. Paper is a problem. Why is paper a problem? Oh yes, because there's no power. I remember now. Paper mill. Good news. Let's go. Seeing as these guys can do absolutely nothing, let's just return you guys doing anything else. It's being worked on slowly. Yeah, that dam is going to be useful because it'll stop all of this getting manky. And getting Zigoo from running out from down here, that's okay. Don't worry too much about that. Okay, paper is on the move. Have we got anything else running over here? Is it just those? No. Okay, cool. Planks is obviously always the problem. I suspect that the planks are going into all of these. Right there. So let's do a bit of prioritization, shall we? Let's just say, do me this, 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 and this. At least we can then run some power in here. Not a lot, but some. Yeah, see, it's the power being very intermittent that's the problem. We could do with some gravity batteries, but where? I don't think there's a nice place to put them. I mean, yeah, okay, you could hang them off here, but... there's no nice place to put them anyway. You get a decent drop. I mean, we could always make one, that's for sure, but... I guess we could just put them in and then do the usual trick. So I like to build them on stilts. Just because we can then blast underneath. So yeah, we're going to have to blast a load of stuff out on that anyway, which is maybe a waste of resources, but I think it'd be fine. No, what am I doing? I need dynamite. Just lay in threes underneath this one. Well, beans. So that's the bad tide over. Everything should now start springing back to life when the water starts coming up through here. it's still under pressure, which is fine. It'll take a while, but they should be able to get it sorted pretty quickly. Could also do with the big water pumper putting in at some point somewhere. Probably over here, to be honest. Would make the most sense for this thing to exist over here. I'll add this to the list of things to do, but we'll just deprioritize it. Don't need to worry about that, because we're not really touching the sides of the water as it stands. We have some of the gearage done. That's fine and dandy. Planks are struggling as ever, which is kind of their thing. Probably should also say, do me those two first. At least then that gets some back up on there. Go back to this. Plumb that into there, to there, to there. To there. And with that done, they should be able to make a dent in that too. So let's get all of this marked for cutting. Goodbye to all the trees. They can just about reach everything, so let's do that then. So we'll come and do me this. We have 3 board beavers, so that's fine. I'm happy to have the board beavers. It means we can put them somewhere else. What am I doing? Need some stairs. I'll just sneak in there. We'll lay the path in once they're done. Oh yeah. Thanks. Okay. Right, so let's go back over here. Is this yet green? No. It isn't. Oh, let's get rid of you. That'll get done at some point. So there's no rush on this area, this side either. There's plenty of metal, so we don't need to rush anything from that point either. That's okay. This worked beautifully, so we don't need to worry too much about this anymore. There was no contamination, which is perfect. That's what we wanted to see. Sunflower seeds are pretty awful, but we could put some more in. Let's clean out the storage issue. So, good news, we will put those in round about here. If I can find them. What is this path required for? Anything or nothing? I don't think anything actually, so goodbye to this path. Zipline is probably doing the job for us, which is exactly what we want. Let's just put the wheat back in. Just square that off nicely. Don't think we can put some stairs in, but let's just see. In fact, no, be fine. It'll be okay. We'll leave it. We'll leave it be. We'll leave it be. Okay, planks are on the ups. That's a good sign. This is now connected, so there's at least some backup. The paper running in. We have 6 jobs unfulfilled, so we probably need some more beavers at some point, but it's not a biggie. We will need to connect this somehow. Is there an easy way of doing this? Can they get to that? I mean, they can currently, but they just need the paper. Can it do some shenanigans here, so let's just deal with that. If we can just get this on priority. Hopefully not cut anyone off. Just mean we can connect this area up a little bit easier. So once we get that done, we can rip that guy out. And something along those lines, just say, do me these. Cool beans. So there are 4, well, soon to be 6 windmills pumping out whatever they're pumping out. There are some bits and pieces we'll have to relay in, so there's some paused bits so they don't get stuck, which they probably will do. You know what these guys are like. And what's paused down here? Okay, I'm not sure why those symbols are there, but never mind. I'll leave them to it. Cool, so this thing's now dry. Again, can't touch this until we get a drought. Knowing my luck, we'll have 745,000 bad tides in a row, so we'll never be able to rip that out, but should have everything down here for that. Let's just double check what it wanted. 150 blocks, 200 sparkly planks, which we have. 400 gears, which we do not have because we built this instead. I think we were close, to be fair, at the time. And this power is required. If we take these guys out, turn some of these gears back on. I'm hoping we can at least get these numbers back up. I would like them to actually finish this, to be fair, but it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Paper, 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 paper. Okay. Too far, you say? How dare you? Okay. See, this is what I mean, so I'm going to have to say goodbye to that. Just get those finished off. I think I'm just going to say, finish everything off, please. It should give us the backup power we need, but if we get it done sooner rather than later, at least we can stop. And these also need doing, but we'll downplay the priority on those. Wind's not the worst in terms of waiting for it to start blowing, but it can be a bit of a pain. Got both paper mills running, so hopefully it shouldn't take them too long. And 20 watt. Okay, yes, there is quite a lot of paper to come, to be fair. And how much do we have storage? Not much. Not much at all. I think then, paper, I believe, lives in one of these bad boys. We may as well tuck this in here. Just say paper. Let the haulers bring it in. We should have enough haulers. We used to. We still do. Well, quite a lot, to be fair, of stuff, of things for them to do, but could do with more of them. We do have 4 jobs that are not currently in use, and not all of this is running yet either, so in the case of leaving it be. Okay, so we'll get that built. Haulers can bring the paper over here, not that there's that much, but it might make it a little bit more local for them. And then we'll have to do some shenanigans to connect all this together. You're bored, you say? Good, so let's just pause you. There's nothing in stock, so we can say goodbye to that. Cool, paper's kind of flying in. Literally, sort of, kinda. Where is our other storage? Let's just have a look. Right, okay. That one makes sense, this one makes less sense, so let's just say goodbye to this. In fact, there's nothing in it, so get rid. Bringing everything all over this way makes no sense. Paper can supply. This guy can just walk to there. Shouldn't take him too long. Okay, so the stairs are coming along somewhat nicely. And it does now spiral without being weird, which I like. The top tip was building from the bottom, which, you know, makes sense. What we did say we were going to do is look at some of the well-being, so we haven't really done much in this area. I think we're going to turn this into a bit of a fun zone for them, because we haven't really done much. I think the easiest things we can lay in without needing power anyway is going to be the dance halls and the agoras. Biggest bang for the buck is going to be these things, so that's 400 science, which we can happily spend. And they can get their Dance Dance Revolution on in here. Connect those two up. Again, not exactly massive priority work. Can put in a little bit of, if I can find the thing, storage. Get the juices down here. We'll probably move some bits and pieces around. We'll rejig all that. We may put in another 2 of these, depending on how much it's used. But I want these doing first, so... Alright, let's unpause that, as they're all built. Just need to connect that in somehow to the rest of this, which I think is probably the best achieved by doing what we did last time. Get the power just put between there, and that should connect at least that grid. And that is never going to work in 1,000 years. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? No matter, we can fix that if we went... I'm not sure if they can walk on that, to be honest. Let's see. Oh, they can stand on the corner anyway, so actually that won't be a problem. That will not be a problem. Yeah, again, prioritize. Okay, we have the droughts. It's the forward gears that's going to bite us with this. So this now becomes non-important work. In fact, just in case they decide to get too excited and build this. Turn it off. I would like to get the gear producers down here. Can we take them from anywhere else? Oh, oops. Path in the wrong place. My bad. But we do not need anyone doing this job right now. I think from a scrap point of view, pause that. Any of the jobs we can live without down here? Not really. We don't need anyone in the herbalist. Cool, so that's done, that's done, that's done. That's now working, so that can get done. Get this done as a high priority, as there's no more gears required for that. This is paper, which is nearly done. This is paper, which is nowhere near done. But soon. TM. I just need another few of those. Now we're going to lose power on here and relying solely on these. Boom those. That just wants to be a one-it, so I'll lay that in. And this is why I like building them on stilts, because you can then just blast down as deep as you want. I don't think there's anything in here that's going to cause us... Okay, there is. There is something under here that does cause us umbrage, but we just need to be careful how deep we go. Balrog style. Cool, so this entire grid is now complete. So once this stops, there should be enough juice. White new connected. Are you not? Okay, the drought has started. So I am going to risk this. What have we got? 6 days. I don't know if I want to risk it. I'm too scared. We have the blocks still, yes. Sparkly planks, yes. Let's go for it. This is the highest priority job in all creation. Get it built immediately. And I'm going to make you work long hours for this. Need that wind to blow. And with any luck, we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and make this a big problem. Now we can live with it. To be fair, we can just blast a hole in and it will then contaminate somewhat. But it shouldn't. We'll just take this out, it won't flood anymore. Street planks are done, metal blocks are done, the gears are coming. Gears, that should be obtained. Haulers should be doing that job. And these are being produced in real time at this point. I'm hoping and praying there is enough. So four days we've got to produce 10 more. I think we can do it. I think we're fine. I think we're fine. We're okay. We just need to come on and slap that thing and get it finished. Boom. Right. Happy days. You can go back and relax. Have some extra time off, in fact. So down here, we just need to connect in this, which will just need a little path to yonder. There's more than enough in here for storage purposes, so we'll just kind of leave that as it is. I don't think we need a big giant tank for that. We may as well leave that in. We need to connect in this last 4, which we can do. It's just as easy to do that more than anything else. And we can turn all this back on now. Boom that. Yeah, we can set this null priority as well, so just set that like so, and then they can come and get that finished. How are these... How are you connected then if you're not... Oh, you go through... How do you get that way? Won't take long. Once that's in, that should connect up this side. Then I'll get all that built at some point. Okay. Cool. Alright, so again, it's an intermittency of power from the wind. These guys should help. Once they get around to it. Are they doing anything with these yet? No, that's fine. Okay. We have 2 baby beavers, but not many. We probably do need to change some of the housing over to be a little bit bigger. And again, well-being stuff. So let's start looking at decorations, shall we? If we pop that guy in, covers those houses behind, and we can also say not that they can reach, but if we put a shrub, and the beaver statue might actually be a better shout. So let's put a beaver statue on there. Yes, turning through the science. Don't need a bulletin pole just yet. Lantern doesn't quite reach. I think actually we'll just... Oh, no, these even face the right way. Yes, okay. We'll do that. They should be able to reach those because they are where they are. This roof provides a little bit of loving for this side, which should be fine. And we can rip another one out. Maybe worth thinking about another house here, but for that we're going to need at least 1 more of these, like so. I could add that to the list of things. We do have these guys set up though, so that's good. No extract, so there's nothing to do that, but that should come in handy. And I'm hoping that does something for the well-being. I guess we've been this high before, but not for a while. That's all that, that's fine. This thing's basically full. So there's a high chance of injury, but with this, what we'll do is we'll fill the thing and then just turn it off. Ultimately, because it makes things just a little bit safer. I do believe they'll empty the Badwater as they need it still. I don't know if we'll need a tank. Maybe we will. Is it worth? Is it worth? Probably. Is it worth going big? We'd have the science for it anyway, so this thing needs to get churning. Has no power, which is understandable. However, at this point, maybe worth thinking about hooking in our power. And getting down here is going to be fun, so this is going to need something that we need to get into. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Roof's not hitting them all, but that's fine. That will be okay. We do need some monuments too. Are we that comfortable with everything yet? Probably not. Let's turn these back on because we used quite a lot, so that puts us a nice little buffer back in. Let's get that built because I think we have a million cattails that could be doing and used elsewhere. Taking too long. Metal is fine. Don't think we're going to be using too much of that at this point. We could look to be doing something along the lines of moving the explosives, which I think exist over here still, but we're not really using. If we're going to do a bit of digging for these guys up here, then we're probably going to need to look at sorting that out. I think we could safely set the priority of all this noise back to normal. Let's get this built first. It's been outstanding for a little wee while. I've got that laid in. That just needs to be hit with a hammer. No one get into it yet, so it's not really a problem. Well, not yet. Not having a million one spare beavers, that's okay. Not to worry about that. And we're getting along over here. Oh yeah, pause them, so let's just unpause this one. Gamgee, Samwise is dealing with that, so that's good. We have quite a lot of spare places. They're probably getting pulled out the holding post, are they? Yeah, okay, fine. They can finish clearing that off, that's not going to be too much of an issue for us. Is it worth planting some more trees? Possibly. Possibly. Leave that alone for the time being, I think. They'll get to it eventually. Alright, let's rip the band-aid off this, shall we? Because it's never going to happen otherwise. If we were to put this down here. I do a bit of weirdness with this. We are going to get down here of our own accord anyway to build the thing, which is a bit of a pain. A million miles tall. Alright, so if we were to say... Just... Oops. That's not going to work either. Tell you what will work though. This guy. Beautiful. Right, okay. Curly stairs for the win. I want to do a bit of weirdness. Should be reachable and should be reachable. Okay. What we'll do is we'll just bounce them down to this pylon, down, back up. And then that should connect to here, I hope. If not, we can always chuck it in another pylon. Just break it short term, I think. We'll be fine. Don't have to go around the opposite way of the loop. Yeah, someone just needs to come and hit that, which I'm surprised they haven't, but never mind. I'll lay that in. I guess we can do the same sneaky roof shenanigans here. And I'll hit that, which is good. That is coming out nicely. That's getting used. Productivity is terrible. I think it's probably best if we do commit to this thing. Yes. Need to redo all this. It's not the greatest. But it'll do for now. Chuck that in and Badwater this up. It's now moved, so it's down there. That's okay. So we can happily say goodbye to these. We don't need that, so we may as well get that picked up. Come and do that when they can. Science probably needs moving. We could shift it. We'd probably have to easy enough to rip the band-aid off and just commit to running this power line in, to be honest. Just to keep it all flowing. Although we're connecting everything into these, well, 2 gravity batteries is going to last about 17 seconds, so maybe not wise. Might be just as easy just to move the science. Yeah. Move the science. Then we'll just decom this area down here completely. We'll just tidy it up, just get rid of everything. I don't think we need to worry too much about it anymore. Even this defense barrier here, we could probably rip that out and tidy up. And we don't need to worry then about running the power this way. I mean, it's nice having the second area, but without constant power like an engine or somewhat, it's kind of redundant. I'll get to that eventually. I guess they're stuck doing this. We can always put in more of them. maybe worth hanging them off this back edge here. It's quite a drop there, actually. We could always put them in and then not build it. You do some weird shenanigans just to get everything to fit in. Go there. We need it next door, that side. Should allow us now to plumb that in. Again, might have to do a bit of groundworks to make that fit somewhat nicely anyway. So, connect that, connect that, and that. That's got some chance of not being a problem for us, anyway. That'll connect that together, so that gives us some boost for a bit of buffer should the windmills not run, which they're not doing now. To get over here, we're going to need to jump the fence, which I suppose is just as easily achieved by saying that. And again, it's just going to be a case of letting them build it as they get to it. This isn't a high priority job for us, or them. But we will lay in the path ready. Someone's probably going to get stuck, but if we say prioritize these bits over everything else, they can get around to that as and when. Cool. Alright. So while that's connected, it's not actually, which is okay. Everything else is looking fine. I haven't got to that yet, which is okay. Have they finished tidying up around here? Not quite. This guy's bored, so goodbye to that. The dams are in, so this hopefully should stay a little bit greener. I wonder if it's worth putting in a dam. Not a dam. Floodgates. Possibly. Either way, let's just chuck a forester in here. Flip it. And get some of the old lumberjacks in. I think that'll do. We can run that straight down the middle. And we'll just oakify the area. Something along those lines. This guy can reach everything. And if we'd say the same thing over here, scavenger flags. These don't need to exist, but these can be replaced with objects. Empty that. You don't need any of this anymore. I think I will put in... How deep's this? Too high, so that's okay. Okay, 8-day drought. Don't think that's too much of an issue for us. Yes. No. We say 1.8 on that. They're not going to be able to build that unless we put in this guy, which would help if I put it in the right place. Point number 1. Point number 2. They're going to need a path to be able to get the thing, so let's do that. That should do us quite nicely. So yeah, we're going to lose this water. I mean, we'll keep some of it. It'd be interesting to see just having this, what actually remains. Obviously there's some pressure still in the system to keep this running for us, but with this up this high, we're going to be able to retain the water in that area. Oops, thanks, autosave. In that area, so that'll be grand for keeping this irrigated. And then we could just do with one more in Forester District. I guess there. Quite a lot, I know, but we'll just get rid of the path. They've got access to everything, they've got access to everything, and they've got access to everything. And as ever, it's just going to be a case of oaking what we can. See what they actually can build, to be fair, when that's a little bit deeper. Might also be worth saying that dams should help out if they were across here as well. So we'll do that with some stairs down just so they can get to it. Looks to be in reach, so that'll keep that green just a little bit better. That'll hold that up. We can then take out those paths. I'm not sure what we're going to get out of this back end. It may be a bit greener, I'm not 100% sure. But I'll get to that as and when. And other than that, I think we're in a decent spot. This thing's now empty, is it? Yeah, so some in here, they can refill that. Hopefully it doesn't injure too many of them. Planks are in trouble, as ever. We have 12 baby beavers, so we must have a mass exodus of beavers dying and shuffling off to the Choir Invisible, which is fine. There's 2 or 3 coming up now anyway, so that's okay. That's going to be a hot minute to get finished. There's nothing running down there, which is okay. Just gonna need to grin and bear it, I think. What might be worthwhile as well is also doing that as the water seems to go down the tubes into here. I didn't know this worked during in a drought. The more you know. Which would make sense, actually, why it was full before the end of the last one, thinking about it. But I think we will leave this episode in the quietness of the drought. And let's just go over what we've done. So power, hopefully, is somewhat resolved. Enough to keep this ticking anyway. 4,000 power just in the wind alone if it blows. But we do have the gravity batteries here, and we have an option to make those a little bit better by blasting down. We've also got an extra chunk of that over here, which we'll get to eventually. They have built this, so we can hook this in at some point once that's done. Just to dog leg them down into this, and the mine is the next step for us. So we can stop worrying about all of this down here, but we will let this run its course for the time being. We have plenty of scrap and whatnot, so we're just setting up for the area. But I think this playthrough isn't too far from being finished. We do need to put some monuments in. We could speedrun for the other 3 cultivators, but I think with this playthrough we're just going to do the smaller monuments. The whole original goal was just to greenify it, which I think we have succeeded in doing. The colony is, I think, out of danger, so next episode we'll finish off some bits and pieces, get a mine put in so that they're quote-unquote self-sufficient. With that... Ah, you would, wouldn't you? You would. But we don't need to worry about it, because we can just say goodbye to all of this. Tell me it's a problem now. I dare you. I actually dare you. What? Too steep. Too steep. How can it be too steep? Well, we'll fix that next time. We'll figure it out. It probably needs moving down here, or some other shenanigans need to be done to get it to work. We'll suss it out. We'll suss it out. We've expanded some of the sunflower seeds, so this seems to be enough. Probably won't be forever, but if we grow the size, it'll be okay. We have figured out that this works to a bad side, so this being 0.9 seems to keep that running quite nicely. We have also fixed a lot of the industries, now shifted over here, and obviously with this back up here, we're running good for that. Power is running fine, as long as the wind blows, but they'll get building on all of this eventually, as we've said before. We have also put in these big boy water pumps. We can take out all the other ones eventually, which gives us a bit more space down here. And I think... Oh yeah, we've had a bit of fun. So we need to expand fun for the guys. So I think the next one we'll put in a couple of monuments, and we will expand some of the fun. This should keep this area a little bit greener for a little bit longer, which will be nice. But other than that, I think we are in a very, very good position. We'll have enough trees to sink the Titanic over here when they get to it. And we can tidy up all of this area as it's no longer required. There is nothing over here other than explosives that needs to be shifted, which I've just got a nice spot here. We just need to cover this area a little bit nicer. But that'll fit in quite nicely with what we've got here. So we'll move that over next time, and I think they'll be very self-sufficient at that point. Well, cool. If you have any comments, please put them down below, and we will see what we can get done in the next episode on this one. I think what we'll do this week is play this one again instead of going back to the Iron Teeth, just because I think they're both wrapping up. So I need to find... I have found a map, but I will see what it's like and then see if it's going to be good, because I want to try it with the Ember Pelts, but we'll see how that goes. But if you have any map suggestions, please let me know also, again, down below. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.